Assalamu alaikum. Sulaiman Rahim here. Welcome. Critical analytics. Brothers and sisters, we're going to talk about critical analytics in regards to Sodom and Gomorrah. That's a sign of the end. Let's see. That's a sign of the end. Sodom and Gomorrah. We want to analyze that from a critical analytical point of view. Welcome. I have two people joined. If you have anything you want to add or whatever, just let me know. But that's what we're talking about. We want to explain that story. That's an important story because that's one of the things that's supposed to occur. Well, bring about the destruction. It said it would be as the days of Noah and also as Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, what happened at Sodom and Gomorrah? Why is it two cities? You have to understand that AL-INJIL understand that. Two cities they're talking about. Those two cities, we're saying that's America and Britain, Gog and Magog. Destroyed at the same time. At the same time. So let's see here. Okay. And they're destroyed at the same time. And why are they destroyed? They're destroyed because of what they was doing. The immorality, the Bible calls immorality. But the reason they were destroyed is the same thing that you see going on to in America and Britain right now. This idea of family. Now, like I said, we're going to talk about this from a critical analytical point of view. We try to look at every subject from every angle. So we're going to look at it from the point of view of pressure and social behavior. Now we know, we're told that the family is the basis of every civilization, every nation, right? Every organization. The family is a fundamental unit. Without a family, you have nothing. So we're going to look at it from a pressure point of view, because if the family is the fundamental unit, then we know if the family becomes compromised, that organization will become compromised if that's the fundamental property or fundamental pillar of that society or that nation. But that's what's important. That's the foundation. And they tell you that. They said the family is the most important unit. It's the foundation. It's a fundamental unit of any nation, any country, any kingdom. So we need to look at, we only need to look at the family to determine the structure or the nature or the pressure that nation or country is under. Because if the family is under stress, that means the whole nation is under stress, because that's the fundamental, that's the foundation of it. So I don't want to get too complicated here, but I just want you to understand we're talking about America specifically, and America, the family will be the fundamental unit that the whole country is based on. Because without family, I mean, family produce the next generation. I mean, the whole country is about people. And families produce people. So that's the fun. Without a family, without people, right, you don't have a nation. You don't have a government. You don't have an organization, because it's all about people. But the most fundamental principle is the family. So, what's going on in America? What's going on with the family? We see the family in crisis. Because what's the family all about? It's about gender. A mother, a father, and they produce children. That's the fundamental unit. The fundamental unit of a family, of a nation, of a country, is the family. And that comprised of a mother, a father, and they produce children. That keeps the nation going. Because without that, the nation dies if there's no people. So we need to look at that from a critical analytical point of view. So what's going on? And family is about gender, right? Mother, father, that's gender. And then the children, that's gender. Son, daughter, brother, sister. But what's going on in America? We see the family is in crisis. It doesn't have any integrity anymore because there's no distinction anymore on gender. You don't know what gender you are. Anybody can be any gender. Just make up a gender. A person can say, well, a male, there's no distinction. You're not a male or female. They even want to change the language. You can't call a person a he or she anymore. It's offensive. It's built into, they're making, that's the laws. Now a person, well, they change it from one sex to another at the drop of a hat. If you marry someone, you don't even know what their real gender is because the doctors don't have to tell you. So you don't know if you married a man or a male or female. You don't have any gender privacy. You don't have any female or male bathrooms. They're removed. Why is that happening? And where does that lead to? Because the main function of a family is to produce the next generation. That kind of structure destroys that because that kind of behavior does not produce children. Getting a sex reassignment does not allow you to produce children. Same-sex marriages do not produce children. And now they're teaching the children that there's no difference between the genders. It's total confusion. You've never seen anything like this. And as a matter of fact, each year it gets dramatically, exponentially worse. Each year it gets dramatically and exponentially worse. Now, that's what we're looking at because we see, remember, that's the foundation of the country, of the nation. That's the foundation. So if that foundation loses integrity, when something loses integrity, that means it doesn't have, it's not viable anymore. Like if what it changes form. In other words, it's worthless. It's worthless. It's worthless in the shape and form it's in that it ends up in. That's when it doesn't have any integrity anymore. It's like anything that loses structure. So I'm trying to find a good analogy of something that loses integrity. Well, a dead person doesn't have any integrity because they're not alive. They can't do anything. That's not necessarily a good analogy. But when the structure is no good, a house, for instance, if you take the support beams out, lose integrity, it's going to fall apart. So it loses structure. So what it's telling you is that the structure, the base structure, the foundation of America has lost its integrity. If that happens, that means the whole nation comes falling down. Let's move, go to the next. That means, a second here. That means that if it loses integrity, the whole nation will collapse. Like that building that collapsed in Miami, it lost its structural integrity, so it collapsed. You can't, nothing supported anymore. And so the foundation of America has lost its integrity. That's the whole story about Sodom and Gomorrah. See? Because it lost its integrity, because it was all about sexual immorality. Men couldn't distinguish, men couldn't, they couldn't, men couldn't make up their mind. I mean, distinguishing man and female. Men were sleeping with men, women were sleeping with women. So it lost integrity. You didn't know what a family is. Right now, the definition of family in America is whatever. I mean, two men can marry. And that's considered a family. Two women can marry. That's considered a family. See? You can have a female, go and get a sex reassignment, become a male, and female gets sex reassignment, become a male, and now you got a male and a female that can marry each other, but the male is really a female and the female is really a male, and no children can be produced out of that. And I mean, you can get as weird as that. See? So that's the point. So once it's lost its structural integrity, that means it collapses. And that's the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. That means America has lost its structural integrity. That means now there's nothing to stop it, right? It's collapsing because it has no structure destroyed. But in the case of Sodom and Gomorrah, it wasn't destroyed immediately because you had people in there that was like support beams. The house about to fall, they put support beams in it, hold it up. And that was the original people. See? The seed of Abraham, because that's why I use Abraham as one of the characters, they was keeping the country from falling. They was the only thing that was keeping it from falling. See? And then some of them wanted to stay, and God said, no, you got to get out of there. Don't hold it up anymore. That's why they had to flee. They had to flee. And once they left, Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed. How was it destroyed? It was destroyed by weather. Because if you read AL-INJIL, and I'll show it in the next couple of slides, where it says one of the things was by a great hailstorm. That's weather. Suddenly a great hailstorm. And that's the connection. I'm not going to go into detail here. That's the connection, right, between us and the weather. Because the weather is a reflection of extension of your activities. So if you lost the weather, the integrity of the weather in America is also falling apart because the integrity of America is falling apart. We're connected to the weather. The weather's connected to, for lack of a better word for right now, right? Our emotional, it's a flex. It's like music is a reflection of our emotional status. So is the weather. So if the nation is in emotional crisis, so will the weather be. There's a direct connection here. I'm not going to go into that. I talked about that before, but I'm trying to show how these things come together because that's what we're experiencing right now. We need to understand exactly what we're experiencing right now. Understand what's going on right now. Because it's happening so fast. Think about it. 18 months ago, before 2000, 18 months ago, did you see any of this coming? Did you see anything like what you're seeing right now? Look at all the things you're seeing right now that you never saw anything like that 18 months ago. 2019, December 2019, you see anything like this? What's going on in the world today? All the stuff that's happening, the conflict with China and Russia and the Middle East, COVID-19, lockdowns, and now all this gender. I mean, it's like it's a flood or suddenly. This gender confusion. And gender confusion is one of the primary signs that the nation is about to collapse. It's collapsing. So, hope I'm explaining that clearly, because you go in and like they go in and have the termite inspectors. They go around and they see, right? They look at the support beams and stuff and see the termites eating those support beams away. They know that the house is about to collapse. Okay? So they know they have to either do something to hold it up and replace the support beams or get the hell out of there. Like that in Miami, whole place collapsed. They had warnings, nobody paid attention to warnings. Next thing you know, it just instantly just collapsed. And that's where America's going to collapse instantly. It tells you it's going to, all their plagues and everything will come in one day. So it's my job to make sure you understand that. You don't need the Bible and the Quran to understand that when you understand how pressure works. Because if you understand how pressure works, then you would know once you start seeing all this gender reassignment and all this gender wars and all this gender confusion, you know that the country is about to collapse. That's a clear, perfect sign. Because that's the foundation of the nation. And the foundation of the nation has lost its structural integrity. Because there's no meaningful definition of sex anymore, of gender. And anyone that tries to stand up or try to support normal gender understanding, they're shot down. If you're against that, you get shot down. All these, they have Supreme Court cases where people saying, I don't want to be involved in that. I don't want to make big case for these people. That's against my religion. They're shooting it down. You got to go along with that. If you don't go along with all this gender stuff, then you're a bigot, you're crazy, and they're attacking you, shut you down. If you're in business, they're going to shut you down. You lose your job. So it's become pervasive, widespread. See? And that's where we are. Okay, so I want to go into a couple of things, and I don't want to keep this long, but I want to focus on that. But first, let's talk about a couple of things right here real quick. This story about this sister and about this Star Spangled Banner. I don't think, I never paid much attention to it myself. I knew I just wasn't going to respect that flag. But when you go and read these verses, read the verses. What does it say? If you get down to the point, it says, their blood was washed out of their foul footsteps pollution. They're talking about the slaves, talking about us. Foul footsteps. That's what they're thinking about us. Their blood was washed out their foul footsteps pollution. It was out. Their blood was washed out their foul footstep pollution. And that's old English. What it means is that their blood, we're foul. See? And our blood, it just runs. See? So in other words, they shed our blood to cover up because we pollute everything. We're just foul. We're foul. See? No refuge could save the hireling and the slave. Who is the slave? From terror. That's why I was telling you. They was terrorizing us. They're talking about terrorist nation, terror of flight or the gloom of the grave. In other words, if you try to flee, you're going to be torn apart. Your blood going to be spread out all over the place. So there's no refuge from you. You can't hide anywhere. You try to escape, you can't hide anywhere. Forget it. See? So you're doomed. That's what this what they think about. And this is what they're singing right now. It hasn't changed. And you can't even even the grave is not your refuge. What does that mean? That means when you die, Jesus is going to get you. Because he's a slave master in the sky. And he's going to get you. Even after, so you got no hope, you got no escape or nothing. And you foul. And this is what they're saying right now. This is the national anthem of the United States. They talking about the Uyghurs and China, all that kind of stuff. This is the national anthem of the United States, and we supposed to sing that. That's like you tell somebody they got to say, yeah, rape me, I love to be raped, rape me, I love to be raped, rape me too, rape me on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, or maybe give me a break on Thursday, but yeah, they rape me every day, rape me twice a day, maybe rape me 3 or 4 times a day. And you're going to tell somebody to sing that? You're going to tell a woman to sing that? You might as well, because that's what tell us to sing, that we foul. See? And that we're no good. That's what tell us to sing. And then they tell her, they talk about America's so great, and they stand for people that fight for their freedom, and they're going to get mad because she won't sing that. Because she won't say, rape, she won't sing, rape me, rape me, rape me, I love to be raped. Because she won't sing that. They don't get mad at her because she won't sing that. And you know, my question is, why is anybody singing it? No, she won't sing, but why? And especially any black person, why are they singing it? You notice when they talk about this, right? They don't say the verse. They say, or the third verse. Why don't they say the whole verse? Why won't they say the whole verse? Because they don't want people to know what they're saying. Why don't they say the whole verse? Oh, the third verse. Why keep referring to it as the third verse? Why don't you just say what the verse says? Oh, well, she won't say the third verse. Why don't they say what the verse says? Because why would any sane person expect us to sing that song? That's the national anthem. This was done 60 years after we so-called after slavery. They adopted this anthem in the 30s. So we're supposed to be out of slavery, and they still think in that same way. See, they haven't changed. They tell, oh, well, we freed your slaves and all this, everything. They just 30, 60 years after slavery, after so-called Civil War, this became the national anthem in the 30s. And it's still playing right now. It was playing when Barack Obama, when he was president. How can he do anything about it? He was praising, he was covering his heart too. Might as well say, Heil Hitler. And they see these people are sick, and we what's wrong with us? Why would any black person sing that? We understand the demons would sing it, and they're the ones that sing it, and they have us saying it because most of us never. We mumbling through. We were stumbling through the words. We stumbling through the words. We don't even know what the words say. I have to admit, I didn't know what the words say either. I know I just wasn't going to be had enough of the flag, so I didn't go any further. And in fact, when I first looked it up, Google it, that part wasn't in there. That part wasn't in there. Because I looked at it, I was telling everybody, look what this says, right? And then I had to go again because they left that part out. That's the scam. They left that part out. When I first looked at it, when I was talking to some people, right, who was talking, and I looked it up, and I was talking about what it meant when I did a presentation. I looked it up, and I didn't see that part in there. When they showed it, they didn't show that part in there. I had to go look it up again, and then I saw the whole thing because I said, look, I Googled the third verse and didn't show that part. It showed all the other part, but didn't show that part. So I went and I looked and said, I want to see the whole thing. And then I saw the whole thing, so that part was in there. See? And they said, well, yeah, but she still should. She shouldn't be supporting America. Well, look, you know something? We didn't ask to come over here. So now we're over here. You're gonna tell us what we can do, what we can't do, what we can't. We have freedom of speech, but you tell us when we can use this freedom. We can use the freedom of speech. It's all bullshit. See, you better read that again. Any brother, any black person that's saying that song, that pledged allegiance to that, is not you. It's not your people. See, I'm putting it right there so you can read it. I'm out the way. Their blood, put in English. See, they got old English, right? Their blood has washed out their foul footsteps, pollution. Oh, we polluted, we're foul and polluted, right? Our blood, our shed of our blood is the only thing that will clean it. The shedding of our blood is the only thing that wash out our foul pollution, footsteps, because we polluted with foul, with foul. Listen, with foul and with pollution. That's what it's saying right there in the Star Spangled Banner, in the American anthem. See? And it said, no refuge from the highly and the slave. There's no refuge for you from terror. That means you're going to be terrorized. There's no refuge from you to being terrorized. We're going to terrorize you. There's no refuge. No, there's no escape for you. All you're going to get from us is terror. Especially if you try to flee from the plantation. Remember, when this right here, remember, they wasn't talking about plantation on the field because this was written in the 30s. We're supposed to be off the plantation. That's what I tell you. We're still on the plantation. Because they said you can't flee. If you can't, you can't flee. Because we're gonna terrorize you no matter where you go. Wherever you go on the plant, we're gonna terrorize you. That's what it's saying. This wasn't talking about running off of the plantation, because this was taken and used as the 1930s. That means they terrorizing you right now. And said, even the grave, you're not going to no escape from the grave. No escape for you. No matter where you go, we're going to get your ass. We hate you, you're foul, you're polluted, we're going to get your ass no matter where you go. Even if you die, we're going to get you. Because Jesus, the white master in the sky, he going to get your ass. He going to get your black ass when you die. If you believe that, if you pledge allegiance to that, you ain't no original person. Or you just a damn fool. See? And Farrakhan's people pledge allegiance to that flag because a lot of them in the military. He don't tell you don't do it. And, bro, you're going to wake up in a minute. If you don't understand that sister's on the, see, she's a sign. Hopefully she got some of you to read this. So I give it all to that sister because she stood up, right? I tell you, the light is coming on. So all of us ain't got a full revolution yet, right? But some of us getting there. So she's waking up because she was absolutely right. I'm not going to pledge allegiance to that. Why should she? Well, she did it before. Yeah, she woke up. Man. Okay, brothers and sisters. Better read it. Anybody you see pledge allegiance to that flag after they reading that, then you got to ask them, what the hell is their problem? Because they ain't you. Okay, who's going to win the war of Armageddon, the vision war? Again, the angel. Now I'm going too much detail here, but the angel is the book, right? 22 chapters by 7 seals, completion. That's the book that's complete. Our 50,000 year, right, journey through hell. 22 years of suffering, energy deprivation. 50,000 years of suffering, energy deprivation, and the angel brings it to a close. Completes the cycle. That's what it's. Abomination of desolation. That's the critical. That's the critical situation. That's a sign. It tells you, it says, right? One of the signs would be abomination of desolation. The other would be, right, loss of structural integrity. That means the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. See? But we're going to see both of those are connected. Both of them are connected. So here's the story of Sodom and Gomorrah here. So I'm not going to read all this. You can look at it. Okay? But read the story here, right? They had lost structural integrity. So the angel's trying to tell them, you got to get out of here. And they tell them, flee to the mountains, escape to the mountains. Remember that story about abomination, desolation? Flee to the mountains? That's what tell. Flee to the mountains. There's a little more detail here. I'm not going to tell them flee to the mountains. See? Why? Because they had lost structural integrity. Because the men came here, they wanted to have sex with angels. They didn't want to have sex with. They didn't have sex. He said, "You can. How about my daughters? You take my daughters." They didn't want the daughters. They wanted the men. Now you say, if you can't see angels and they mystical, then how did they see these men see them? How did they see them if you can't see angels? And how are you gonna have sex with some spirit? How are you gonna do that? That tells you right there, men, angels are men. Oh, I want to have sex with that spirit. How does that make any sense? They said it was angels. See? Where it said right here. It says they were angels. In the morning, and the angels urged Lot. He's talking to him. And the men want to have sex with the angels. That means they're men. And so this was a time where it says, flee to the mountain immediately. So this is America. It's about to, just like that sudden collapse down in Florida. If sudden collapse, America is suddenly going to collapse. But it wouldn't collapse because he said at the end of the story here, if you read the end of the story right at the bottom, it says, I cannot do anything until you arrive there. Otherwise, I can't do anything until you leave because you're the one holding it up. Oh, they're out there blowing the firecrackers and carrying on Negroes, right? Celebrate their freedom. So I hope that doesn't come across. He said they can't do anything till you leave because you got to understand, bro. Says we always holding it up now. America's already gone. They've lost structural integrity. Look up structural integrity. There's nothing to hold it up there. The family was the unit that was keeping America together. It's crushed. It's collapsed. And so now America is collapsed. Because if the foundation is gone, the whole thing collapsed. Only reason it hasn't collapsed because we're still here. Our people are still here. He said, I can't do anything till you leave. See? So understand that. So another thing here, because someone brought the question up, you see these eyes here? Okay, this goes back to Adam and Eve's story. See these eyes here, right? Okay, that's the original nation. It's been corrupt by demons, right? But anyway, they have eyes. So they also have 7 eyes. So here we see an eye right here, right? A black on the black one, and on the greenish one is an eye. Okay, and he got America and Britain. That's Adam and Eve. That's their son Cain in the middle. Okay, so let's move on here. Okay, and then you have, okay, I'm gonna say this right here. See, if you look in angel, it says a great hail. Hail, that's weather. And the weight of a talent stepping down in heaven upon the men and blasphemy to God out of the plague of hail. Right? Another time it says, right? It says God, it says, and was opened up the divine habitation of God in heaven, and seen the ark of the covenant, and him, divine habitation in him, and occurred lightning, voices, thunder, shaking, and hail great. That's weather. They're being destroyed by weather. See, that's the only thing. I mean, they're still gonna be invaded and everything, because that's just one of the things that's gonna happen to them. Because that's what we see right now. That's why I see this weather's going crazy. Because they've lost structural tech. There's a direct connection between their activities, our activities, and the weather. I mean, weather is air, oxygen, pressure, right? Don't you breathe in air? And exhale air? So that means you're affecting the atmosphere right there. And the first trumpeted and occurred. Now the first trumpet, you understand the first trumpet, that's the 2 trumpets, right? That attack American Britain. That's the 2. The first and the second one. So the first trumpet and occurred here, that's the 4 winds. That's the first 2 of the 4 winds. And first trumpet occurred, hail and fire have been mingled in blood, was thrown to earth. Earth represents European countries. And third, the earth was burned down. Third, the trees were burned down. And vegetation, green yellow, was burned down. See? So remember the two eyes right there. See? Okay. So in Adam and Eve, it says that's the knowledge. That's the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Nation of Islam, that's supposed to tree of good, knowledge of good, and the demons, the Christians, that's the knowledge of evil. That's that way it is, bro. Sisters, take or leave it. We're not gonna worry with. But see right here, now Adam and Eve, they eat. Eve eats first, America, then Britain eats, right? When they eat, right, that means they took out, right? When you eat, you consume something, take it out of existence. So now they have their eyes. That's what it means. Now they can see. See, so then their eyes were open. See, but they've taken us out. They have our eyes now, so their eyes are open. They see it naked. Now, Syria and Ram represents the sackcloth. So they see it naked now. See? That's the story on that. So I'm not going into that any further. But that is, when you see that happen right there, that's say you see in places should not be. Where's false Israel? You don't see it anymore. It's down there. It's that way. It shouldn't be there. See? So it's talking about. It shouldn't be there. It should be up here. But now it's cast down. There's no more. And when you see it, it says flee to the mountains. See up here where it said mountains? See, they also refer to as mountains. That's what it's talking about. See, they're going to come and destroy us. Once false Israel is gone, they'll come to destroy us. Because they've lost structural integrity, they're going down. And the thing is they're going to try, they know it's between us and them. So without going into a lot of detail here, the whole idea is, right, they set up false Israel because of Elijah Muhammad in 1948. To counter the fact that he says we were the seed of Abraham, and we have proof because we've been here 400 years, and land is not ours, and they put false Israel to counter that. Because if we the true seed of Abraham, that would destroy their whole mindset. Because if we the true seed of Abraham, what does that mean? You have to ask yourself, what does that mean? Because if we're the true seed of Abraham, what does that mean? That means they've been oppressing us, God's people. That means they're not good people. That God's against them. They're evil people. And that everything Elijah Muhammad was saying was true. He said it was devils and everything else. Well, if we choose Abraham, everything he said was true. They can have people thinking like that. So he had to set up a counter, set up false Israel. He said, no, that's them over there. But if they false Israel is truly Israel, then look at the mindset of the world today. Look how the world is today. How do you think about the world today? Everybody thinking that the so-called Sunnis are terrorists. Why? Because they're opposing God's people. Because if you think of them as God's people, then that means the Sunnis over there, right? They're evil. And the Sunnis and Shia, they're evil, right? They're terrorists. They're terrorizing God's people. They're stopping God's people, right, from taking the land that God promised them. Because that's the promised land. You got to understand this, brothers and sisters. They read the Bible too, the sealed Bible. And the sealed Bible says all that land belongs to the seed of Abraham. That's their promise. But that's the reward. So if they're the true seed of Abraham, then what does that mean? That means that all that land belongs to them. And anybody in their way, right, is a terrorist. You understand? So that's what the world says today. And if they're the true seed of Abraham, that means we are Ham, who is the son of Shem, who is cursed black. You go and Google it, and they say Shem, that's Shem, his descendants are Africans. That means we was cursed black, and we're supposed to be slaves. That means nothing wrong with America's doing, because we're supposed to be slaves. So enslaved us, they was only doing what God promised. That was only doing what God, right? It was only doing God's will. So when you have that perspective, what does that mean? When you have that perspective, what does that mean? That means that they're good people, and we're bad people. And false Israel is good, and the Shia and the Sunni are bad people. They're terrorists. That's what that means. That means they wasn't taking these land. taking this land from the Indians wasn't anything wrong because the land belongs to them because they the true they the spiritual seed of Abraham, right? And so therefore everything belongs to them. So they can take Australia, they can take Canada, they can take South America, they can take North America because all belongs to them because spiritual seed of Abraham. So in other words, from God's point of view, they're good people. They're doing everything God told them to do, promised them. So they can pass them in the back and look in the mirror, hey, we good people. And that's where they can't come and tell you that, bro, sisters. But that's the basic of what they think. And they really believe that. They believe that. And so, therefore, they also believe that we're wicked, evil people. Because that's what the Bible says, the skilled Bible says. And we're supposed to be. So if cops shoot us down, they put us in prison, and all that kind of stuff, we deserve it. Because we're thieves, we're robbers. And when you go in the store, they follow you around because you're naturally thief. Because they tell even the foreigners come over here, they believe that. They come over, they believe they don't want to be around you. Because they believe that's the ideology, that's the vision America's posing on the world. Remember, it's United Nations that gave false Israel that land over there. It wasn't just America. America put it on, but they had to vote on that. That's the vision that the world's operating on. And under that vision, you're nothing. You're in trouble. You're worthless. You're just evil, wicked people. That's the vision of the world. Either way, either America is spiritual Israel or false Israel is the real one. Either way, you're nothing. And then they got a backup plan, right? Because those of you have been awakened to believe that, that's a lie, that you're true to Abraham. They got killer vision to shut that down, to close that door, because they try to teach you Sunniism. And then you're right back where you started again. Because now, yeah, I'm a Muslim. See, because now you can still be a Muslim, but you're not true to Abraham anymore. See, you could be a Muslim now, but you're not true to Abraham anymore. Because in Sunniism, you ain't, no, it's them. Ishmael is. So it got you coming and going. See? See, so in other words, most of our people, they got them in Christianity, so that means they're him, and that's they believe that. Preachers teaching them that. That's what preachers are teaching. Not teaching them that they're the seed of Abraham. Not teaching them they're teaching them that. That means they're Ham, born to be slaves. And that means if that's the case, then Master is being nice to them, letting them vote, giving equality. Because if you got to ask somebody equality, that means you don't have it. That means they're still your master. If you got to ask them for it, please, master, let me vote, let me have equality, let me have integration. That means he still control it. And they do still control it because they can vote you right back on the field anytime they want to. Majority rules. You understand, brothers and sisters? I can't get this clear enough. The vision is what counts. If people without vision perish, and that's the vision. The vision that's the vision America's pushing on upon the world. They're imposing upon the world. That's the vision they're imposing upon the world. See, let me change something here right quick. That's the vision they imposed upon the world. That's the vision that the world's operating on. That's why you're nothing. That's why you're nothing. So let me gonna wrap this up. And let's see. Okay, I'll close this out. Okay, close that out. Okay. And okay. This. Yes, a lot of noise, but I'm going to close out in a minute. Okay. There you go. And let me see. Okay. So, so the idea is you have to understand. I'm trying to make clear to you, brothers and sisters. That's the way they think. It's like evolution. They believe in evolution, which means that you're an animal. There's all these things come together because the definition of animal is that you stop evolving because we all were animals at once. You know, we was monkeys, we was bears, we was dogs. We evolved all the way up to being human, right? But we stopped. There's like the apes stopped. Apes not evolving anymore, so they call the animals. They probably our ancestors, but they're called animals, right? Because they're not evolving anymore. But they said our ancestors. Why do you put our ancestors in cages? Because, right? Because they said our ancestors we evolved from apes. So the ancestors, right? They put me because that's the definition. You understand? You understand these definitions? I'm trying to give you these definitions. That's why critical analytics trying to give you the definition so you understand what these things mean. That's what it means. It means that animal is you not evolving anymore. So you stayed in that you're gonna be that forever. So apes are always gonna be apes. They're not gonna evolve to anything else. They stopped. See, and then apes evolved to black people. See, because they say white people came from us. So they say, but we came from apes. So used to call it the missing link, right? So they was looking at Africa for the missing link. So they said we're the missing link between human and animal, between human and ape. So they realized, okay, well, the black people are the missing link. They're not evolving anymore. That's why we're animal. That's why it was 3/5, because they thought they consider us animal, because we're not evolving them. Because white people mean they evolved to the next level. So they went on, they kept evolving. So they went to the next level. And we stuck here being, just like apes stuck being apes forever, and we stuck being Negroes forever. We not evolving. You need to understand that. See, you don't pay attention to these concepts, but that's the way they think. That's the way the education teaches them. That's what's teaching you, but you don't understand because they don't tell you, come out specifically and tell you in detail is that exactly what that means. So, but you accept, you take it in, but you don't analyze what it's telling you. It's like you don't analyze what killer vision is telling you. Farrakhan, you don't analyze what it's telling you. Because it's telling you have no vision, you have no vision. Because if Abraham comes not your vision, then where's your vision? What is it? You don't have it. That means you're perishing. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. And this is just, right? This is just, this still abomination of desolation that we're about to happen. That's why I keep telling us as we get closer, I'm going to get clearer and clearer and clearer. They got to get rid of us because soon as far as Israel goes down, then the question becomes, who's the true seed of Abraham? Because if they're gone, right, the whole world is based on that idea that they're the true seed of Abraham, and that we Ham, and that the Muslim terrorists over there, and so forth. But if that collapses, is built on that foundation that false Israel, true seed of Abraham. If they collapse, they're gone. So you got two collapse. You got the family structures, they lost structural integrity over here, and their vision lose structural integrity. See, they got physical structural integrity, loss of structural integrity, which is the family, and they got the vision loss of structural integrity because that vision is what's given is the foundation of the structure of this reality that you believe in. Of the world today. What's the foundation? What's the structure? It's based on false Israel. And that's what all the stuff, all the folks on the Middle East. Why? Because false Israel there and America's time policy all based on the fact that on the lie that they're true seed of Abraham. So you got structural integrity on both fronts, spiritual and physical. The vision and the family, physical and spiritual. You understand? Both. So right here, two on the scene. You have one that's attacking the physical and one attacking the spiritual, and vice versa. See? So a physical war is about to take place over there. A spiritual war is taking place over here. He's got the will, I got the injil. But you're going to lose structural territory on both fronts. Family, that's the structure of this country, right? That's a fundamental structure. We talked about that. And the structure, the structure is reality. The vision is false Israel being the true seed of Abraham. That's why the Arabs become the terrorists. We become Ham, so forth, so on. Hope you understand that, brothers and sisters. See, so both about losing their structural integrity. False Israel is about to go down, right? And you already see, you understand, America's going because their family structure is destroyed. They they just started putting the firecrackers. They've been blowing them all day until I got on here. So I wanted that as a conspiracy. They weren't doing it all day. As soon as I get on, then they start blasting. So this is a situation. See, that's what said they're about to attack us. Because once false Israel goes down, it says immediately we see the abomination of desolation. That means something that can't happen over there immediately. But it's also at the same time when the America's structural territory is totally destroyed, America collapsed over here. Both of them, because both of them said the same thing. Flee to the mountains. Immediately, when you talk about Sodom and Gomorrah, flee to the mountains, is where it says, abomination of desolation, say they flee to the mountains immediately. So both are connected. Destruction of America and destruction of false Israel, both at the same time. See? And both things is going to cause them to want to destroy us. Both of them want to destroy us. Excuse me, brothers. I'm 1 second. Okay, brothers and sisters, guess that's one of the things you have to put with. We got a lot of ignorant folks we have to work on. When looked, they hid. As soon as I left, they started back up again. So they know they're causing a problem, but they don't care. Okay. So I put the two together, right? So I explained the two together, right? The two connections between Sodom and Gomorrah, see, and abomination of desolation. So the two will be happening simultaneously. The two events be simultaneously. The two happen. That's what I'm trying to point out here. The two happen simultaneously because both of them, you flee to the mountains, both of them immediately. But one is talking about the desolation, abomination, that means the collapse of Israel, false Israel, and the other one's talking about structural integrity, right? Sodom and Gomorrah, American Britain, right? But they're both the same situation. Immediately flee to the mountains. So connect the two together. And we see both happening right now. We see America losing structural integrity, right? Because the family structure is being totally wiped out. The whole definition of family is being destroyed right before our eyes. And we also see all the stress and stuff going on over there in the Middle East. So we say both those things will happen at the same time. That's the point I'm trying to make here. Both will happen at the same time. See, that's why both flee to the mountains, both immediately. Don't look back. See? So I'm trying, as I said, as we are closer and closer, I'm bringing all this into focus for you. That's what's talked about. Both will occur at the same time. I'm trying to bring all these things. So that's why you can see it. See, you can see the one here without Injil, without the Bible, without the Quran, because you understand how a nation works and what's the foundation of a nation. And that's the family. You see the family, the concept of family is just being destroyed right before your eyes. The idea of gender, that's the basis of the family, right? Gender, male, female, I mean, that's the whole thing. That's reproduction is the whole nature of our existence. Our existence is all based on reproduction. Without reproduction, we go out of existence. That's the foundation of all of any civilization. Reproduction. And that requires male and female. And you see that being destroyed right before your eyes. Now remember, I said both occur at the same time. Keep that in your mind. Both occurring at the same time. Because both say flee to the mountains, right? Immediately. And both are destroyed at the same time. So that means America, right? So, and it says, why flee? Why you had to flee? Because they're going to try to take you out. All these things happen at the same time. Once false Israel goes down, America's collapsing, they're going to take you out immediately. I say, flee, flee, flee. See? But in the case of America, see, they won't crash until we leave. But we have to flee fast because they're going to try to take us out. But our being here is what only thing's keeping us holding it together. Because they've already collapsed. America, for all purpose, already collapsed already. We're the only things keeping it from collapsing. But put all this together. See? Put all this together. Because that's why Master Muhammad is taking out false Israel. It sets this whole thing in motion. Because when he does that, that collapse is there, that destroys their their vision, structural integrity. Because the whole thing is built on the fact that false Israel is the true seed of Abraham, and he's going to destroy that. He's going to destroy their vision right at the core, right at the foundation. When he does that, it sets everything in motion. Because now that vision is gone, destroyed, and that means all these other things have to happen because now we must be a true seed of Abraham. That means between us and them. Either we true seed Abraham or they spiritual seed Abraham. And if we are, then who are they? They don't want that, so they have to get rid of us. Well, I'm trying to make this, make you understand this, brothers and sisters. That's what we write down to the nitty gritty, so to speak, right there. So once false Israel gone, it's the question between us and them. Either we true seed Abraham or they spiritual seed Abraham. And we got the certification, everything. See? Because their whole world has just been destroyed. Because the whole world is based on false Israel being a true seed of Abraham. So that means their whole vision is just, matter of fact, how much to destroy that reality, that whole vision. So now they got to grasp for another vision quick. Because the only two visions they got left is that we true seed of Abraham. That means they're wicked devils, they're destruction, or they are, and right? We have to be, only way they can be, we have to be removed, destroyed. Only way they can be, we have to be destroyed instantly. No delay. See? So they can hold on to that vision. Vision wars. Hope I'm being clear enough, brothers and sisters. Hope I am. See? That's what it's saying. So, there it is. See? That's the hailstorm. This also represents, right, the four winds. Also represents, right, the barrier, right? It's a barrier that protects us long enough for us to unite, because the four winds is cause our unity. You see how all things come together, brothers and sisters? The four winds, you understand angel key, it comes all together. It's four winds that cause the unity. So therefore now they're attacking us, right? But they got to go through that hailstorm. Also refers to hailstorm of weather, right? You have to go through the Africans that are here. I'm trying to put it all together for you, brothers and sisters, to get to us. That gives us just enough time for us to unite and run to the mountains. Yeah, the only way you can understand that angel key. That's why they know have not talked about you. They get mad at you because they can't defend it against anything you say. They have no defense for it. Because every day our reality is coming more and more in focus. Every day our reality is coming more and more in focus. Every day our reality is coming more and more in focus. Our vision is coming clear, more focus every day. And theirs come more out of focus. See? And now we're setting up beacons. And we have more beacons. See? Because the light is going to be so dark, those beacons is going to be the only light, right? So guide the people out of this darkness. Because it's going to be extremely dark here for them. So I hope you understand, brothers. I'm trying to bring all these things together for you. All these things together for you. Because we're right here, right now. We've never been like this before. Right here, right now. After 50,000 years, all things is coming. It's right here, right now. Right at the edge. Once mass trauma goes in action, everything happens quick, fast. Exactly like I'm telling you. And then you understand all these things going on. Because he's getting ready to crush their vision. Crush it. That they've been living off of. And the only way they can recover is reestablish another vision by getting rid of us and saying they're true seed, they're spiritual seed of Abraham. That means they got to get rid of us. They got to recover. Because they don't want, they can't, they can't look in the mirror and say, no, because if we're the true seed of Abraham, what does that mean? Just think about it. What does that mean if we're true seed of Abraham? What does that mean? They understand that. That means they're devils. They're about to be, they're being destroyed. They're wicked. Everything that they says, sealed Bible says they are. They Elijah Muhammad said they were. And it's obvious, it's clear. So their whole population see themselves that way. They can't maintain a government with people thinking like that. Because they got to believe that America's good. How they say, America's good. America's the greatest nation on the earth. We're good people. We got the best government. See, we're brave. We're free. See, we're God-fearing. See, they can't say anymore. They can't say anymore. What does that mean? See, remember, a nation without a vision perish. So if we choose Abraham, they have no vision anymore. Their vision is taken away from them. So they're going to try to reestablish the vision. What vision they're going to try to establish? That they're the spiritual seed of Abraham, that's the one they've been saying before Elijah Muhammad came along. That means if they are, that means they got to get rid of us. Because we the evidence that they're not. After false Israel is gone, that's why it said false Israel to reestablish that vision. Because they can't bear to say that we the true seed of Abraham, because what does that mean if we the true seed of Abraham? I say it enough, maybe I just keep repeating it, but I'm just hoping you understand it. See? Because it's clear in my mind, but maybe I'm not explaining it well enough. I'm not like, Mr. Farrakhan. See, the thing is, you see, you prefer someone, see, that's feeding you shit with a lot of sugar in it. See, oh man, it's sweet, but it's shit. See? But somebody give you a meal that has no sugar in it. I don't want that meal. It ain't sweet. Yeah, but it's healthy. It ain't sweet, but it's healthy because the sugar is not necessarily good for you. And that's what Killer Vision's selling you. He's selling you shit with sugar in it. And you so hung up on the taste, the sugar, that you don't realize the shit he's selling you. And he make you pay for it. And we giving you fresh fruit, veg, don't have no sugar in it, but you know what, man, ain't no sugar in this, man. I ain't know. Yeah, but it's healthy. And that's the deal. Because you hung up on the sugar. But it's shit. Because you don't even think about it. You don't say, is this good for me? Or you think about, it tastes good. But is it good for me? You don't ask the question, is this health? Is this nutritious? Is this healthy? No, it tastes good. Why you shitting and stuff like that? It tastes good. Because you don't ask yourself, what mission vision is Farrakhan giving us? And he said, we're going to stay here, but it's preparing you for it. And we're going to stay and have these 6 states be separate from America. Is he preparing you for it? So what they give it to you there tomorrow, how you going to run it? Who's going to operate it? And especially you think that you follow Farrakhan, you think you're going to run it? Because they're going to want democracy. And the first thing I do is get rid of your ass. You'll be talking about don't eat no pork and stuff. So you ain't going to run it. You're going to just have the same thing you got here, or you just have Negroes run it. And they ain't going to run it because they will have to bring the white people over to run it for them, to set electricity, the plumbing, and everything else. That's the vision he's giving you. But you ain't asking because that sure tastes good, man. Man, it's sweet. This is sweet. But it's shit. You're going to wake up in a minute because Master Muhammad is about to wake your ass up. Like I said, he could give a sign from heaven that could bend your necks. That's the sign. Because when that happens, that's going to shake your mind. It's going to shake the whole world. Because the whole world is based on that premise that false Israel is the true seed of Abraham. When that's shot going, right, that's going to rock the whole world. It's going to destroy the minds, right? It's going to destroy its reality. That vision will be destroyed. And that may have to search for another vision. And they don't want that vision to be that you true seed of Abraham. That means you the ruler. That means they have to submit to you. They ain't going to do that. So therefore, whole world's going to be on board with that, get rid of you. Whole world's going to be on board with that. Syria's going to be on board with it. Because it said the dragon went to make war with the woman. You don't know who the dragon is. They're on board with that, get rid of you. It's not just the devil's going to get rid of you. The Syrian's going to be doing it too. It says right there in chapter 12. The dragon went to make war with the woman, the one that kept the laws of God and everything. That's talking about the FOI, the NOI. See? But Farrakhan won't be running it anymore. He's gone. But as soon as this happens, he's toast because he got to explain how come he didn't see this too. Just like these preachers ain't got to explain why they didn't see this because they're telling you that false Israel is the truth. Because if Farrakhan is telling you the same thing, if he's telling you ain't going nowhere, that means they must be the real one. They must be the real deal. So he's got to explain all that. They're through. They're going to be through because that's going to be such a crash on people's mind. How come you? Then if they ain't, then who are? And how come you? You know, they can't explain that. And remember, they ain't got time to talk about it. They ain't going to have to no Sunday meet. Remember, this is going to happen instantly. It's going to happen immediately, instantly. You ain't have time to think about it. So these preachers going down immediately. They're going to be impaled on stone sticks. It's going to be terrible for them. And terrible for Farrakhan and his people. Read Exodus, Aaron. Because it's going to shake everybody's minds, and they're going to say, how come you didn't tell us this? And then they're going to realize this message was true, and how come you wasn't with him? How come you? Because he was telling us the truth, and you was lying. And now what we going to do? Now the four winds blowing, and they got the beacons everywhere. They run to those beacons now. The beacons we're setting up. The message of covenant is going to be sent all around the country. See, those churches are going to be turned to temples. Temporarily, because we ain't going to be about a second. Until our people get one vision. Because that's what makes a nation a nation. The people have a same vision. They share the same vision. So once our people get that Abraham vision on their brain, then it's over. Case closed. We're going home immediately with heaven overnight. As soon as we get that universal vision, our nation, we're a nation again. Because we're not a nation now because we don't have a common vision. Because they gave me all these different visions all over the place. Hope you understand, brother. Since I talk a lot more than I expected to. Trying to get you to understand. And you injured warriors out there, understand this because that's what we got to get our people to understand. We tell them exactly what's happening and why. I mean, how can you get better than that? Because you ain't getting this from anybody. Not even close. You're not getting anything even close to this. And we got proof. We can prove what we're talking about. And nobody's even talking close to this. So that means when that happens, right? It's like you telling somebody, you got everybody all night talking about Sunday coming, you got all these preachers. Sunday coming up in the morning, Sunday coming up. You got one person, no, sun's coming up, sun's coming up. And they got everybody believing it all night long. And then the sun comes up. What do you think will happen to our preachers? And only because everybody's saying that lie, just that one person said, no, the sun's coming up. Because nobody's saying anything even close to this. Not even close. They couldn't if they want to. Only ones saying this, the message of the covenant. See, because it ain't about me, it's about you. See? And so that's what I'm doing. I'm developing messengers of the covenants. Messengers of the covenant. Messengers of the covenant. See, all over the country. Got a few. That's everything starts. One cell, then it comes 2 cells, then it's 4 cells, right? Slow. The more complicated it is, the longer it takes to build, but it builds strong and firm. See, trees take longer to grow because they build very strong cells, right? Slowly, but they last for a long time. See, so just because you go out there, you see some, oh man, look at that flower, man. They got yeah, but then the springtime, right, and the fall time, they're gone. The tree's still standing. Okay. I'm not going to talk about this right now, except to say, right, the whole idea is keep saying, all before me were thieves and robbers. See? So Jesus said, all before me, that'd be Suleiman or Joshua. If he said all before with thieves and robbers, that's common sense right there. He couldn't be talking about the prophets and the messengers before him because they weren't thieves and robbers. They was from God. He's supposed to justify them. He's supposed to compliment them, right? That's what happened. Every prophet and messenger compliments one before them. They represent and they certify the one before them. So he couldn't talk about them, but he said all before me. So he's talking about the one that preceded him. See, that's Joshua. Who preceded him? Aaron. He's a thief and a robber. He hasn't produced a damn thing. He's taking your money. He's taking and pimping his sisters out, and he hasn't produced a damn thing, but he keeps an economic program 40-some years. Where's the money going? Any evidence of it? He hasn't produced a damn thing, but he's walking around and $5,000 dresses and $10,000 glasses and everything. He hasn't produced a damn thing. That's a thief and a robber. They don't get anything back. I'm just leave it there. So, Quran and Angel. You gotta understand. I'm not going into details about it, bro, sister. Um, the Angel is the book. Like I said, 22 chapters divided by 7 seals. That's complete this whole circle because it started 50,000 years ago. Now it's coming to completion. That's why it's 22 chapters divided by 7. I told you it's a mathematical book. 22 divided by 7 is pi, circle, completion. Completes all this ordeal. Then we move back into life again. We've been dead for 50,000 years, basically. Now that whole cycle is completed, ended. The angel puts into it, closes it out, and now we move into life. Everlasting life, beautiful life. Because brothers and sisters, especially, right? Younger brothers and sisters. But hey, I mean, um, not, you know, anyone younger than me, right? But anyway, especially younger brothers, you're not even going to see the old age. You're not even going to see, you know, these things we're suffering. You ain't going to see that. Stay young and beautiful all your life and happy. And this, I ain't never took track or anything like that, right? Now, I had my thing when I was in the military, but I don't know how to track is. They say it's powerful. But what you're going to be feeling is going to be much greater, much more than that. And it's going to get better and better and better, but it's not going to have you drugged out. You're just going to feel good all the time. You'll be so happy. Like I said, you're going to run and jump like deer. You'll be so energetic, have so much energy, you don't know what to do with it. You sleep is an ailment. Sleep is a plague that we've suffered for the last 50,000 years. Sleep is something that we never even knew before, right? We suffer. That's one of the symptoms of energy deprivation. Sleep. Once we no longer suffer energy deprivation anymore, we won't be sleeping anymore. We won't even think about it. What is that? Anybody sleeping with somebody sick? You won't even think about it. You won't be tired. You won't be ever tired ever. You have so much energy, and you go anywhere in the universe, anytime, anywhere. See, you be doing exactly what you want to do in life, exactly. So it won't be work. It's work when you're doing something somebody else wants you to do, taking and cultivating somebody else's vision. You be doing exactly what you want to do, exactly. That won't be work. You'll be happy doing exactly what you're doing. You'll be doing exactly what you want to do. You'll be free, truly free, and justified, and equal, male and female. Like I said, you can't imagine how great it's going to be, brothers and sisters. And like I said, especially younger brothers and sisters, because y'all never going to taste any, you know. And my understanding, I can't say I've never been pregnant. I can't, but my understanding of scripture is that all the problems that the female problems that women have right now, as far as the monthly and all that kind of stuff, that's going away. All that's gone. That's part of the energy deprivation too. Because remember, what was Eve told? Eve told you will bear your children's sorrow and the pain. That means she wasn't doing it before. Get it? She wasn't doing that. Wasn't it before. So she got as a punishment. See, a lot of things we suffer right now is because of energy deprivation. So you won't have those problems in the hereafter. You won't have any sick. You won't have any ailments. No pain. You won't know what pain is. See, pain is something we never knew before. What is that? That's another symptom of energy deprivation. It would be a new creation. You can't imagine it because right now, the science had a hard time trying to imagine because when they wrote the scriptures over 50, when they look back, when they look down through history, they had nothing to compare to what he was going through. That's why they said he was dead because nothing in their experience, right, was what we going through. They sleep, right? They get hungry. They're tired, right? They're suffering. Women have childbirth and pain. They ain't had no reference. They saw what the computer was telling them, but they had no experience. They couldn't relate to it. It's going to be beautiful, brothers and sisters. You know? It's more beautiful even I can imagine. I mean, I could tell you a lot of things. right? But it says even beyond that because it just gets better and better and better. Can you imagine that? It starts off beautiful and then just gets better and better and better for 76 trillion years. How better can that be? It just gets better. Every 50 years, you get an energy wave and it just gets better and better and better and better and better. Live as long as you want. Death is just renewal. Say, okay, I'm everybody's right 8 feet tall now. I'm 6 feet tall, so I better get renewed. Give me, trade this body in and give me a new one, newer version. That's what it comes down to, brothers and sisters. Take 4 birds, train and decline to you, brothers and sisters. Uh, just hanging there, brothers and sisters. Killer vision. I don't need to say anymore. I'm not gonna waste time with this clown. Killer vision. That's his job. To kill this vision I'm telling you about. Remember the messenger of the covenant? He's saying we're not going anywhere. That's enough said right there, right? But we got the beacons. He's trying to put the light out, but we setting up beacons. See? So they'll crash, but our people will not crash. Those beacons will keep them crashing. And there's the Sunnis. They also, right? They're trying to start their vision too, because that vision means we taking our land back. They don't want to do that. So they're trying to come into my web, says the spires of the fly. Come to Sunni land. See? Because there's no age of Abraham covenant there. They're the true seed of Abraham. And they occupy land. Land is theirs. So if we come to Sunniism, then the covenant is no good in that score either. So Farrakhan trying to take us away from the covenant, say that we ain't going nowhere, right? They're doing the same thing. See? But they're saying it's all belongs to them. So, that's what, same thing. All our enemies, brothers and sisters. And then here you got the demons. We got a vision for you. See? All fake. See? You go out, these people on the sell watches, right? Man, I got a Rolex, I got all of them fake. None real. All of them fake. See? Get you to spend your money on something that's fake. They get you to spend your energy on something that's fake. Because if you spend your energy on getting this, on your Abraham becoming vision, we're home overnight. Sell you something fake. See? We got a vision for you. See? Democracy, that's Sharpton. And Jesse, right? They want to be president. See, that's their vision for them to be president. They don't give a damn about you. They just want to be president. So they say, I was president. That's their vision. Make them president. They ran for president, right? Then you got Mr. Killer Vision there, right? He got a vision for you, Sunniism and Scientology, right? Then you got T.D. Jakes and Shefflo Dollar, whatever his name is. They got prosperity, Christianity for you, everything. But none of them are giving you your true vision. None of them, not one of them. The one down there, the bottom down there, he got a vision for you too, but he really think he got it going on. They all got a vision for you. See, your vision for him, you're gonna get this great reward after you die. Everybody's got a vision for you. See, but we got a vision, we got true vision, and we set up lighthouses, beacons. See, it's guiding you to a true vision, out of the darkness, so you don't crash on the shore with these other false visions. And then here we go, we're going to wrap it up. Master Prophet Muhammad is getting ready to knock their ass off. He's ready to kick them dead in the ass, he's getting ready to destroy the foundation of this. He said he would discover the foundation, destroy the foundation. He's getting ready to destroy the foundation of this whole vision, this whole reality. Because when he's take down false Israel, that destroys this whole reality. He's going to ready to take it down, that's what it says. It says in the scripture, Elijah Muhammad talked about that too. He said he would discover it at the foundation. He would destroy it at the foundation. He said it would leave neither root nor branch. He's going to destroy it at the root. And the root of this whole civilization, root of this whole reality is false Israel being the true seed of Abraham. He's getting ready to destroy it utterly. And that's going to shake the whole world. Going to shake the whole world. The shock of the hour. He's getting ready to go into motion. I keep telling you, once that happens, everything changes, brothers and sisters. I'm trying to show you, I talked about it in general before, maybe a few months ago. I said everything's going to change. But now I'm telling you clearly, more and more clearly exactly how that change is happening, how it's going to occur. See? And then once before winds blow, we're gonna have a common vision. That means we're a nation. That's why it says we're coming together. How do we come together? How our hearts gonna be united? Because we have a common vision. That's what makes a nation. People have a common vision. Now we have what's that common vision? That we're true to Abraham. That's the same vision that they gotta destroy, because if we're true to Abraham, they gotta destroy us, because if that we're true to Abraham, then who are they? They're the devils and everything that they said it was, so they can't have that. You see how it all comes together? That's what it brought us. That's what it takes to make us come together. You have to destroy the false Israel. Then we have to come to grips that we are the true of Abraham. We have a common vision. That means then we leave and go home immediately. That means Mary come crushing down, because we're not supporting it because it's already gone. But we're the only thing here that's holding it together. You see how stuff comes together? We're the only ones keeping it together, because we're the ones here that's we're the support beams that's keeping it, because it already collapsed, because they're the family, the gender and everything's all gone. So it means they're crushed at the root, right? At the core, the foundation. But we here, we holding it up. We're their wealth. They gold, silver, so many plenty. They go. You see how I puzzle all together, brother, sister? I'm trying to bring it all clear to you. So then we leave immediately, and bam. So then we not know the support beams. They come crashing down. But to avoid that, they'll try to kill us first. Wipe us out instantly. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I think that's pretty much it. I went a lot longer than I expected to. And again, abomination of desolation, because you didn't know what that was until I explained to you recently. No one knew what it was. There's no one on the planet except Master Muhammad and those with him that knew what that was. You can Google all you want. No one even came close. No one knew what that was. Google it. Go ask preachers. Ask Farrakhan. No one ever talked about it. You never heard anybody talk about it. But they should be talking about it, because it says that's what you need to know. Because when you see it, the only way you can see it, you have to recognize it. And you can't go back and do no research, because once you got to move then. So that means you have to already know what it is. You have to recognize, you have to know it clearly in your mind what it is, so you can move. Otherwise, when it happens, you won't know. You wouldn't know it. That's it. You have. Is that what they're talking about? No, you can't. You can't sit. I wonder. Remember, it says, as soon as you see it, you got to move. That means you got to already know what it is. You got to be clear in your mind what it is. And no one knew what that was, so I told you, go check it. Make me a liar. I'll give anybody $1,000. I'll give anybody $1,000 right now if you can show me someone that told you about this exactly where the abomination of desolation was before I told you that they knew what that was, even close. And they got all kinds of BS out there, but no one told you that. No one. You didn't find a message of black men either. No one told you. And you're going to see it in a few days. Now, make a liar out of me. Show me what someone told you what that meant, because you had no idea. Most of them didn't even know the concept. So why didn't you know the concept? If you say you're a Muslim, or if you say you're Christian and you waiting for Jesus' return and you wait for the end, what tells you? That is a signal. So how are you going to wait for something you don't even know what the signal is? That's the signal. I tell you, that's a signal. When you see the abomination of desolation, that's the signal. That's the time of unprecedented trouble. It tells you. That's how you know in unprecedented trouble, when you see that signal. So how in the hell you going to wait for the time of unprecedented trouble? Talk about when you don't even know what the signal is. That's the sign. It tells you that. So you have to know what that is. Because if you don't know what it is, that means you be in the time of unprecedented trouble, don't even know. And if that's the case, you're already dead. Because it said if you got to move immediately once you see that sign. Think about that, brothers and sisters. See, these lies, these are clowns, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. So ask them. If you listen to this at all, go ask the people. Don't take my word for it. Ask them. Says, okay, if we're at the end times, yeah. They probably say, yeah. Okay. Then Jesus probably say, yeah, right? Okay. It's probably a time of unprecedented trouble. Yeah. How are we going to recognize the time of unprecedented trouble? Ask them that question. Ask how they going to recognize the time of unprecedented trouble. And whatever they come in back with you, man, come and remember this verse and say, wait a minute, hold it now. But isn't the sign, the abomination of desolation, that we know for sure and that we have to know before? Because that's what it says, right? So do you know what that is? And watch what happens. Watch what happens. Because that's what they have to know that. I can't make that clear. They have to know that. And you can't know it afterwards because it's too late. You have to know it before. So they asked him, okay, that is supposed to trigger the time of pressure trouble, right? Yeah. Okay. Then what is it? What is it? It's going to be universal. What is it? And finally see what happens. What is it? Because they can't tell you, that means they're fraud and liars. That means you're in trouble with them because if you don't know what it is, then you're dead. Because it says you have to recognize it clearly, immediately when it happens. So you have to move then. You can't move 5 minutes later. You can't go back and get your clothes. You can go back and get your shoes. You can't go wipe your behind. You have to go immediately. That means you have to know what it is. You can't go back and ask somebody. So if they can't tell you, then you're already doomed because when it happens, you won't know it until it's too late. Think about it, brothers and sisters. You Christians are the same thing. They talk the same thing, right? I'm pressed into trouble. The end. So-called rapture and everything. You have to know what that is. You have to know what the abomination of desolation is. You have to be ready to act once you see it. So that means you have to know what it is before. You have to be very clear. You have to know exactly what it is. Okay, brothers and sisters, I went a lot longer than I expected to go. I'm going to leave it right here. Hope you understand. Assalamu alaikum.